Welcome to the Hard Rock Show. We're back. We're getting back into it again. I'm Andrew.
I'm Nick.
I'm Tim.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Brendan.
Details at the bottom of the screen. And make sure you're following us on all our social media channels, especially our YouTube stuff for all the extra content that doesn't make it into the weekly episodes. We also have...
THRS Radio, Andrew, the biggest and best radio station this side of the black hole.
That's a new one.
True. And we got pictures to prove it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I worked
all
on
the
that
guitar
over
picks down the bottom of it.
I worked on that over the break. So let's go.
That's a lot of work for a little bit of outcome.
Story of my life, boys.
This episode is off to a good start.
It's gone off the rails already.
All right. We also have Patreon and business sponsor packs. If you'd like to support us, we're forever in your debt. Thank you so much in advance for that. And I think we'll move right along into what we've actually got coming up tonight. Yep. So in this week's episode, we're reviewing the latest from Zombonimo, Orpheus Omega. We're doing a classic review from Jethro Tull and the Tea Party. We'll also be reviewing the latest from Morton Bad Moon Born. We'll have a hot topic, believe it or not, on Eurovision. We've never done that before on the show. And we have a clip to open the show. Brendan, so what is that clip?
We do, out of Sydney, amazing band, Kvlts Of Vice, with The Golden Line. Check it.
Hey guys, it's Tori and Odin from Kvlts Of Vice.
There's a brand new music video for The Golden Line on the Hard Rock Show.
Enjoy!
This week's hot topic is, I think, brought to us by Brendan. Was his idea. It's Eurovision. So fucked if I know where we're going next because I'm flying blind. What have you got for us? What do you want to talk about Eurovision?
Are you going to start me off?
Yeah, I've got no idea where you're going to go with this.
No, this is your baby, Brendan.
Okay,
You
well,
fly with it.
Yeah, in a universe where I generally complain about sort of reality television shows and people competing for bullshit prizes, the Eurovision Song Contest is something that my darling wife tried for years to get me to watch, and I finally started getting into it, and I love it.
Oh, really?
Oh, man, it is one of the best things, because like a Eurovision song can almost only be written for Eurovision.
Yeah.
And it's the way it's presented and the way... Yeah, some countries, they're playing to win. Some are playing to sort of, lean on their culture, and it's really interesting. But you get to see some absolutely mind-bendingly good performances on it, and it's well worth watching. And this year, well, as we sort of go, it's Eurovision weekend, which is why this has come up. But we've got our own Kate Miller-Heidke, who I'm honestly a huge fan of.
Absolutely.
And I love the track she's put forward, and it's almost written for Eurovision. It's one of those sort of things she's gone right for it because it's operatic and it's huge, and with the massive stage production, and that's part of it as well. Is that the stage that they build that everyone gets to work with, but everyone gets sort of the same opportunity to present their art in any way they want, and the sky is the limit. And I think it's a fantastic thing. In a world where we're losing sort of integrity in a lot of these sort of things and the way they go, I still think this has got legs, and I think it'll go for years to come. Like I said, I'm a fan.
What do you think about Australia being in Eurovision, though?
Oh, why not?
Okay.
I mean, let's face it has a very European heritage in the last couple of hundred years. Israel's in it as well.
Yeah.
Russia's in it, which is predominantly Asia, really.
Yep.
Look, maybe they should change the name to World Vision and blow it a bit. Well, maybe not World Vision, that wouldn't work. Something like that.
There might be another organisation might say something about it.
Globe Vision or something. But maybe they should spread
They have a WWF situation.
spread the wings a bit further. But I got no problem with Australia being in it. I mean, it's been rating here off its tits for years. So why not? But yeah.
I'll follow. I'm guilty of watching Eurovision repeatedly. I think it's bloody fantastic. And like Brendan said, I think the thing that I love the most is there really is no rules.
No.
The performances musically are out there and intricate and amazing, but the actual visual and the stage show and the effects and the things they put into it are bloody fantastic. And if Australia can compete in the Olympics, I'm sure we can compete in Eurovision. And I say go Kate Miller. What's her name?
Kate Miller-Heidke.
That girl, she's amazing. No, I've actually seen it. She's amazing. I actually genuinely find it truly mind-opening and fantastic entertainment, and I'm all for it.
I am a lapsed Eurovision fan.
Hello.
Yeah, I quite liked Eurovision back in the day where it was complete Euro trash.
Yeah.
Now it feels a little too slick and
It's like 85% Euro trash.
no,
As opposed to 100%.
we want the last great Eurovision performance was the Russian grannies.
Yeah! Yes!
That was you don't see that anymore. Now you've got professional singers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Polish girls with the butter churn.
No. That was phenomenal. We had, but that was always there. Everyone's a professional singer now.
Yeah,
The days of people going out there and having fun are long gone.
No, I disagree, Tim. I love you dearly, but I disagree. There is such mind-bending authenticity and out-there-ness. That's a word that I made.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I understand the Polish singers and the professionals. I don't disagree with you on that.
You've seen
but
Iceland this year?
I still believe
I don't
that every year you'll find that one act that you just go, what the fuck did I just watch? But I loved it.
Yeah, the bearded lady.
Yeah, that act is usually from.
That. And Iceland's not a million miles away from that. Like some gothic bondage. Stupid.
I know, and that
techno metal.
That part of it is fantastic. The I don't know, the uber professional singers is where I kind of go.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Tim on that as well. Look, I like Eurovision for what it does in terms of just bringing people together for a laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, it's one time of the year where people for once don't take themselves so fucking seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that, and it's an event, right? People look forward to it every year, more so than others. I'm not a massive fan of Eurovision as a whole. I like the performance of it and stuff, but I like what it does in terms of community spirit and everything like this. Yeah, it's political voting and all this kind of stuff. Now you can bet that bloody, I know, Cyprus is going to give Greece points and all this kind of stuff.
Annoying.
Right? That's annoying.
That's
I get that.
Yeah.
But it's fun, And the thing that I say of Eurovision, it's either the act's either really good or really bad. There's no middle ground. In there.
Yeah.
But what I always look forward to, like Brendan just mentioned it, the Iceland, and I look forward to seeing all these like bands like the Scandinavian bands bringing up the metal bands.
Yeah.
Remember
Lordy.
Yeah, baby.
and that caused the uproar. When they go, oh no, what is this? Put people in monster suits, all this kind of stuff. No, it's a travesty. They've completely ruined Eurovision. A couple of years later, a bearded woman wins it. So there you go. It's look, it's a bit of fun. It is a bit of fun. It's also the time of the year where I get to be a complete bastard and post the results of Eurovision before everyone sees it. So, time-stamped. By now you either like me or hate me because it's on tonight.
Right. I really have nothing to add. I've never watched it.
No.
Wow.
I've never watched it.
Definitely
You know what you're doing tonight.
You need to watch the Polish-Russian churning.
Like, we need to cut filming and watch Eurovision.
I've seen bits and pieces of it over the years, and but I think I must have just seen the shit because I've looked at it and gone, what the fuck is this?
It makes it unreal.
Shit is great.
It is seriously great.
But I've looked at it and gone, what the fuck is this nonsense? And just fucking moved on.
Do you know what it's like watching? It's like watching Plan 9 from Outer Space with your friends.
Yeah.
You get together, you get really drunk, you order a
I'm not
pizza,
high
and it's
enough for
great.
this shit all the time. That's the problem.
You got a plan for this.
But honestly, it's so random. There is just like, you watch, and as you said, I'm not going to deny people put up their best and there's polish and professional and all that shit. There is, right? But every now and then you get a country that's just raw and random, and you just watch and go, what the fuck did I just watch? And that's
Every
what
time-
makes it unreal.
Every time Ireland would put up Jedward.
So I have no idea what you're talking about.
Actually, one thing, the best
I must be the only one in our whole fucking crew that has no...
the best thing about
You
Eurovision.
seriously need to unfuck that. I implore
You do.
you.
I've got to say, the best
Really
thing about
do.
Eurovision is probably not so much the act, but I watch it because of Graham Norton from
he's brilliant
Ireland.
too.
So just the commentary, this guy just takes a piss out of everyone. Andrew, you'd love it for that. Anything
Okay,
else.
well then, if there's a sarcastic comment.
So yeah,
Joel Creasy and Miff Warhurst on the Australian,
Joel
they're
and
great
Miff,
too. So
they just take the piss out of
Andrew is the
yeah.
Graham Norton of THRS.
Yeah,
Don't know about that, but anyway.
there you go.
Yeah, I've got nothing really to add to this, so let's move along and give us your thoughts on Eurovision. Yay, nay, what do you like, what do you not like? Do you watch it, or are you like me and just don't pay attention? Over to you, let us know. Zombonimo, Born to Paint the World Red. 15 tracks, 59 minutes, the third album from the Australian heavy rock band, released January 2019 independently, self-produced by the band, mixed by Jeff Mullett at Rock the Nation Studios, mastered by Don Bartley at Benchmark Mastering. One promo video has been released for the track Try Harder. This album took about 2 years to complete, doing things on and off, and was originally going to be a double album. This was sent to us with the note that if we don't like it, please don't review it. So we're going to see what happens next.
oh, that sounds like a threat.
It's more imploring, I think, because I've seen this sort of shit before.
Very, very cool intro. I really liked the build up to it. It was sort of like Queen if they were a metal band.
Yeah.
You know, I thought, yeah, okay, I'm sort of going to enjoy the ride here. This is pretty cool. Really well crafted songs. You can tell they've spent a lot of time like putting the compositions together and everything on this. It was really quite well done. Song structure was very cool. I found the mix to be a bit quirky, I'll say.
Yeah, rough around the edges, I found.
Yeah, suited some tracks really well, and others it felt a bit of a mishmash and out of place. There's plenty of variety going on there, which makes it a reasonably easy listen. If you like anything heavy, you should be able to get through it. There's a lot of light and shade. It's all pretty cool. I'd like to see him play live with 29 Bones. I thought that'd be
a good mix.
That'd be a little gig. Good use of studio, good atmospheric intros and everything. They've really put a lot of effort in. I love it, and I love the bass sound particularly. I thought the bass got through really, really nice. It was cool. Interesting to say it was going to be a double album. Anything I found a bit long. Probably could have been trimmed down a little bit, but that's me. The mix could be tidied up a bit, but I generally like it rough. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. A really interesting release. I gave it 7.5 out of 10. The highlights were Try Harder, Light It Up, and This World.
Cool. Yeah, this is a mixed bag for me. Definitely a lot of good riffs, a lot of good writing, a lot of good grooves, a lot of good melodies. But when you piece all things together as one solid hour-long block, it did feel a little bit all over the place. I think the mix was pretty good. Again, a little bit rough, but that's all right. I like that. But the thing that I think would have improved this immediately is pick your 2 weakest tracks and drop them. Immediately, that makes this a much better record. Or just get an extra set of ears in and to actually produce it rather than going through it with a band, because they have put a lot of time into the production and the songwriting, which is fantastic, but they just needed an extra set of ears to go, okay, cut that, drop that, do this different, and how about if we did it this way? And I think that would have improved it a lot, because like I know when you get into that space and you go, okay, yeah, this sounds good, but when you're in a rehearsal space, you don't necessarily hear everything, and when you take it into a studio, by that point it's too late, really, unless you've demoed the hell out of everything. And I mean, with a composition like this, it's really long and complicated. I don't know how well you can demo it, but again, these guys are local bands, so I'm sure they can tell us. I would have loved to have heard this as an EP.
Okay.
Yeah, like an EP.
Yeah, just take the best 5 tracks. It probably would have killed it.
Okay.
But
I'm not sure I completely agree with that, but all right.
Because I thought it was too. For the most part, I think it's too long as well.
Yeah, it did drag, but EP may. I think there's more good material to make a good album.
Yeah.
But, yeah, a double album they were going for is probably.
Yeah,
I would say that's too ambitious, but I think an album's okay.
Yeah.
But I mean,
a 45 to 50 minute album versus an hour album.
But I mean, if you're not going to do the producer route and you know cut everything apart and bring in the extra set of ears, then probably an EP, maybe, or even just cut off the 2 weakest tracks. Overall, though, it is enjoyable. Well worth a listen. Everybody should check them out. Keen to see them live if they're around. The World and Blame on My Highlights gave it 6 out of 10.
Cool. Well, I found this to be a pretty diverse and eclectic kind of a listen in the end. It all fits in really well, but it's an interesting melting pot. I think if you're a fan of bands like Cold Red Mute, Anthrax, Pantera, you'll find something in this. Maybe also a little bit of Rage Against the Machine. There were some little rhythm parts in there that remind me of that. It's all firmly based in heavy rock to metal. Got a bit of a thrash and crossover appeal to it as well, which is where I got the Anthrax thing from. I like the groove. I thought there were some good hooks in there as well. It's got a pretty dark feel, which starts at the beginning of the album. But they've maintained that throughout the whole listen, and there are some other little things in here that you won't expect that come through, like there's trombone and stuff used in this at different points. So there's some really cool little things thrown in here and there, which I thought I actually like those parts. Self-produced, that gives it that rough around the edges feel, which works for them. This isn't a band trying to be anything more than what they are. I think it's more of a pure fun, and it's got a bit of a party vibe kind of feel to it for me. I don't mind the mix. I'm usually the picky one when it comes to rock production, but I think it's not high production at all, but it's got that gritty, bit loose kind of a feel to it, very much centered around the guitar, but for the density that's here, there's actually some nice use of depth and space. If you want polish, you're not going to get this, but if you like a little more rough and old school, this will hit the spot for you sonically. Dark in tone overall. You get some clipping here and there, which we all know I don't like, but it does give it that ballsy feel while you're listening to it in particular. Like, it does work. I know what they're doing with it and it makes sense. It's just a personal taste thing. I thought the vocals were a little bit buried here and there. I thought they could have come through a bit more. But then there are other times, like the heavier vocals can be a bit buried because of the mids. I think the mids were just too pushed, but then they were clean, or the more melodic vocals where they really came through nicely. So I'd like to have heard more of that kind of approach done to it. But either way, I don't know, I still liked it. There's nice tempo shifts here between the songs, also the cool change within the songs. Yes, it's intricate writing, which does drag the listen out a little bit, but overall I thought it was all well crafted, like the honing of the songs was good. I don't find it too taxing. There's enough here to keep you interested throughout the album. It goes from melody to growling in equal measure, and they blend that pretty well. It adds to the chaos, but again, that sort of suits the band what they're going for. I can imagine this being pretty fun live. Like 29 Bones would be a really great gig with these guys. They have some cool little guitar solos pop up here and there as well. Could add a few more of those, I reckon,
definitely.
to break it up, but again, it works. The lyrics were a mix of fun and serious topics, which is again interesting. It was well done. They have something to dig a little bit deeper, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. All in all, I do agree it could have been trimmed a bit, but it was intended to be a big project overall. When you take into account it was meant to be a double album, and they reduced it down to this, I mean, they've done pretty well overall. It's not going to blow your mind, but if you like it old school, a bit rough, riff-driven, with a real big dose of fun attached to it, this is one to give a go. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I picked Hillbillies, This World, Try Hard, Starborn, and Power Trip as my standouts. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think. Orpheus Omega with Where Your Sins. 10 tracks, 42 minutes, while Brendan walks in and tries to not get in the shot. Fourth album of the Australian metal band, released March 2019 by EVP Recordings, produced, of course, by Chris Nolka at Monolith Studios. 2 promo tracks have been released in Suffer and Swim in the Black. This album is being called a watershed moment for the band. It features guest spots from Nilo Savanen of Insomnium, Sophie Christensen of Valhalla, and Anna Murphy of Cellar Darling S. Elevati. And also James Norbert Ivanyi on Unblinking, or of Unblinking, whatever, I don't know. Anyway. Go on.
10.
Wow. Is that your review?
Yep. I was really... This is one of those albums I was really, really looking forward to, and I'm pretty much a fan of most stuff Monolith pumps out anyway, but Orpheus, and talk about Chris and his team, this is an album I was really looking forward to, and it definitely did not disappoint. Right from the opening, it takes you on a journey. That opening track, you're instantly there, and I love that. It's a mix of fresh and clean vocals, so that's something that really speaks to me. I love the growl, and I love the clean, so that just ticked all my boxes. I loved it. It kept me interesting in times. In Time was an early favourite. I really love that song, and it gets in your head. Oh my God, that song just stayed with me for days. But the driving drums, oh my God, I love the growls, I love the melody, I love the axe, I love everything about it. I just cannot speak enough about this album. I really can't. I absolutely love every track on it. It's a 10 out of 10, but I think I said that. If I had to pick, I'd pick highlights, which were... Where's Your Scenes? I think that might be a typo, because I've had some audio to text issues. In Time, Wash It All Away. I dare you not to chant to Wash It All Away. That song just like, fuck yeah, get on that. Anyway, I had the pleasure of seeing them recently 2 nights in a row, and the Wall of Death, my God, these guys are crazy. I still love you though. I came out intact and 100% okay, so that's okay.
Others may be differ.
They are seriously a band. Honestly, do not miss the chance to see them live, because they will absolutely deliver. They've been to Japan recently, just incredible. But get this. Seriously, do yourself a favour and buy this. Don't listen to me, listen to your ears. They're fucking amazing. 10 out of 10. Well done. Amazing.
How do I follow that?
Good luck.
I gave it a 10 out of 10 as well. Simple. Cool. Yeah.
Correct answer, Tim.
Yeah, well, the kind of the Swedish death metal vein, but that's probably underselling how clever these guys are writing songs. The thing that I loved about this is how they broke everything up. One of the things that I really bang on about a lot is how many bands go for the groove thing, but they have nothing to contrast it with, so that groove has no effect. What these guys do really well is you listen to with how they structured the album. They're using keyboard solos, guitar solos, and clean vocals, and halftime parts to break things up, but they've spaced them all out in such a way that it keeps you interested from start to finish.
Yeah.
That is super clever, and more bands should be doing that and learning from it. Everybody needs to listen to these guys. If you're learning how to write songs, again, this is a good one for you. Purely for that, so you don't lean on that breakdown crutch. Everything's got a ton of balls. Production's fantastic, obviously, from Monolith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about this. Wash It Away and Incinerate were my highlights, but like pick anyone, they're all good. Yeah, 10.
Cool. I forgot to mention Blinking. That was one of my favourites, and I totally didn't say it. So good.
Okay. First things first. If you haven't checked out the interview I did recently with Chris, then do that. It's one of our first. It was our first interview over by Skype, so it was a different one. All about this album, so go and check it out. Now, long-time viewers of the show should be no stranger to this band. We've had them on before. Also played a few of their clips. This band falls into the melodic death metal category, but this also shows a fair bit of growth on this one for mine. It's heavy as you expect this band to be, but the lyrics, even the growl, is cut through nice and clear, and that's impressively done. Heaps of... I fucking got a massive typo there. I'm like, what the fuck did I say there? Anyway. But there's lots in this to enjoy. Like, the balance between the growling and the singing is fantastic. I don't know. Chris even said he worked on the whole clean vocal part, and he was working on getting better at that. And he's actually done a really good job. I liked the last album, Part of It and Morton. That was really well done, but this sort of takes what they were doing with that and goes to the next level with it.
That was one of my highlights. The contrast between the growl and the clean was something that really resonated with me. I loved
And they didn't
that.
do poppy choruses.
No,
which is
not at all.
A bugbear of mine. I hate the whole, I'm angry because some girl broke up with me, and I'm going to go, oh my god, but I love you. And it's like, fuck off. But anyway, even if what I'm talking about in this style makes you think you may not want to check this band out because of the growling and all that sort of stuff, this is one of those rare ones that probably will cut through to a lot of people that don't normally listen to this sort of music. Give this a go, even if you don't normally listen to this sort of music. A few surprises in here, and it'll make a lot of people think differently about this band, but in a good way. For those that do love the genre already, there's a lot in this for you anyway. You got technical stuff, you got fast and brutal stuff, you got great tones, great depth across the board. Has a really rich sound tapestry. I love the layering, and especially when they did the backing and gang vocals, there are some really nice lead work all mixed into this as well. And I love the use of space in both the writing and the production. It's dense and intense, but also has plenty of room to breathe, which is what you were referencing about the whole, when they don't just use a breakdown for emphasis. That's a lot of different things done in different ways. The space in the writing is fantastic. I've sung Chris's praises plenty of times on the show when it comes to production, but he's knocked it out of the park on this one. It's a heavy yet wonderful mix to listen to. But for me, the growth on this album is fantastic. I love the last one, but this is seriously impressive. Chris has grown as a vocalist this time around. The band have grown together, and their writing and their use of hooks and groove in particular is fantastic on this record. It's very well done. I don't get tired of listening to it at all. Lyrics are great. Like, I'm spewing I missed them live on the tour that's just happened, but they are doing more shows soon, so I'll have to go to those. But this is solid, and this should put the band not only on the mark here, but globally. With this sort of music, especially over in Europe and that, this is the album that should really cut them through. Great album flow, it's got ebbs and flow on there, like the whole listen. It's heavy and brutal, but the way things are presented here, it's easy to listen to. It's not 40 minutes of getting your head kicked in.
Yeah.
It's plenty of room in this to breathe and take that second to... It's got that real push and pull of a title.
It's a light and shade
I was
push
so
and pull
going to
thing
say
going
that
on.
exact thing.
But yeah, the way they mix it up is fantastic.
Yeah, they structured it so well. Nothing too soft in this. You're not going to get a soft song out of this band. It's just really well balanced across the whole record. The hooks and the use of keys also give it a different feel and a bit of life into this. It sets them apart from a lot of other bands in the same genre as well. But I loved the groove and the feel, like I said before. This isn't for purists. I don't think if you want nothing but technical death metal, you're going to be happy with this one. This isn't for those elite purists.
I think I think it will. Because,
well, you're more into it than I am, so...
Yeah, like, I mean, the days of Cannibal Corpse are gone.
Yeah. Caesar's excited. Caesar's...
That's a preview of Chris's vocals.
Good point.
But that's the thing, there's just like, there's light and dark. There's so much intricacy in it, and it's like, I don't consider myself a death metal chick whatsoever, but I absolutely freaking love this.
Well, we're kind of getting best of both worlds in that regard, because you're not normally into this, and this is usually your bag, and it's cut through to all of us ultimately, because I love it. I think the guest spots work well.
Yeah.
They came in and killed it. I didn't give it a 10, I gave it a 9.5. Suffer, wash it all away when hope gives way to reason, and swim in the black were my standouts. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think. Jethro Tull, thick as a brick, and that's probably a term a lot of people use to describe us here. 11 tracks or 10 tracks? 11 tracks, isn't it? I think
2 tracks.
Sorry, 1 track. Actually, I did write 1. It's 1 track.
It's 2.
But that's because it's only side A and B.
So it's fucking 2.
But it's written as 1 piece.
It's 1 track.
Sorry, it's 1 track for 44 minutes. 5th studio of the British rock band released March 1972. I'm so used to saying like double-digit track orders, and 1 threw me out.
1.
Released March 1972 by Chrysalis and Reprise, produced by Ian Anderson, and Tony Ellis, recorded at Morgan Studios in London. No singles were released, obviously, and this album was intended to be a Monty Python-esque satire of the whole concept album idea after they rejected critics' thoughts on their previous album being a concept album. The story was based on a fictional poem of an 8-year-old boy who also spawned a sequel album in 2012. For all of that, this album went really well, going to number 1 in the US, Denmark, Canada, and here in Australia, number 5 in the UK, while also charting well across Europe, eventually going gold in the US.
I have never listened to a Jethro Tull album, start to finish. I'd never listened to this album, obviously, as a result. And frankly, I find it disgusting that of all the musical people I've known in my life, people I've played in bands with, people on this very show, that no one's handed me this album and said, fucking listen to it. This is fucking genius. This is the perfect cup of tea for me. I put this on and listened to it 3 times straight over and over again. I could not get enough of it. And for someone that is like, I'm a fan of Zappa and all this kind of stuff, I just can't believe no one had ever said, have you heard this?
Okay.
I was
all
blown
your friends
away.
can get in the bin.
Exactly. I'm still quite blown away. This is musically brilliant. It's lyrically brilliant and funny, which is something I always really enjoy. So when things get a bit quirky, it's hard to see how music like this will ever be mainstream ever again, being it went number 1 in so many places. Like, that's never... No, and it should. This is art, and flutes rock. 10 out of 10. 10. Fuck it.
Wow.
What's your favourite track of the 1?
Well, there's 2, and I reckon side B is slightly better than side A.
All right. Look, anyone that's followed me on the journey on this show is... You know I love prog rock and I love prog metal, but I hate flutes. So therein lies the dilemma.
Flutes rock.
All my mates, for many years... like your mates, have been banging on about how... Well, your mates haven't.
No.
My mates have been banging on about how great this band is, and Nick, you must check this out. And I just saw a guy playing a flute. I go, no, fuck no, I'm not going to do this. So I was happy to avoid this album up until now. So look, when I saw...
You wanted to do this when we put it in the list.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't it?
No, you got subbed in.
You swapped in.
I got subbed in because I thought it was, being in the prog rock sphere, it's one that I should really pay attention to. So that's why I put it in there. You know, we all know I'm the prog rock bloody whatever douche. Look, so when I saw we were reviewing this album, and I've got to thank Joshua Batten for this one. He goes, Nick, if you're gonna do it, you've got to do it off the vinyl. You know, he's a purist, so I went, Josh, you owe me $10. Actually, no, it's a great $10 that I spent because I fucking loved it.
Yeah, okay.
So look, I'm reviewing it for the first time, listening to it as it was intended. Yeah. Okay, whether it's 1 track or 2 tracks or anything up to bloody 15, whatever Angel was saying before. Anyway,
it's what.
So yeah, I'm reviewing it. Reviewing it as it should have been intended, and I'm putting my flutes bias aside. So it's not your typical prog rock album, especially back in the 60s when they were doing that whole space virtuosity and mystical kind of swirling kind of sounds, you know, early Pink Floyd kind of things. This is nothing like that. Jethro Tull, they really did keep the hard rock kind of element go on there, I think, in a lot of these. Not the whole track. In terms of tempo, a lot of very rocky, very folky, I found this. And obviously, if you've got a flute in the band, it's going to have that folk influence. But, it was not the prog rock that I was expecting to hear from them. I have to use timestamps when I'm reviewing this because, obviously, being the vinyl thing. But the first 3 minutes... bloody hell, they knocked me on my ass. I loved the opening on this album. Just completely blew me out of the park. I thought, oh shit, Nick, what have you been doing for the last, well, I wouldn't say 60, I wasn't born in 60.
Being a snob.
Yeah. What have you been doing since you started listening to prog rock? Because this should have been right in your wheelhouse right at the top. Never listened to it. The first 3 minutes made me realise how much of a mistake I fucking made, to be honest. But I loved it. After the first 3 minutes, it becomes like hard rocky. And from there on in... it just changes every 2 to 3 minutes. There's a new theme here. There's a new musical theme, but it always goes back to a common theme, which is in the start of it there. That's a stroke of genius for me because basically, because it changes so often, it doesn't give the listener enough time to really get bored or really get settled or anything like that.
Yep.
I can understand how some people that, really want to focus in on something may hate that. The ADHD kind of moving around. So some may not be for everyone, but I loved it because it keeps, it is prog. It is not even prog. It's art in the true sense of the word, as far as I'm concerned. So basically, I've got to review an album made up of one song. So here are the timestamps that I came through. I picked up the 4 main ones that I did. Halfway through side 1, there's a theme that's pretty. Just an organ comes out of nowhere, then it becomes like a folk fest of the highest variety. So if you get these, if you have the vinyl, even I think the MP3s, I was talking to Benjamin before, there's 2 MP3s. Halfway through the first MP3, that's just some of the folkiest fucking flute playing you ever got to hear, and I loved it. Really got off. Actually, no, that's the other thing. The flute was actually the highlight for me on this album. What? It actually became the highlight. I was actually looking forward to the bloody flute for some reason. I know.
I was the same. It's not what I expected to be.
It's got this pretty hard rock theme, musical kind of, I guess, motif that flows through it. And that's always a highlight when it comes back in, because once that kicks in, you know that the next part after it's going to be something completely different from what you've heard. Just a great album. Look, I'm not going to bang on about it because I'll probably already have too long. But just they've successfully combined hard rock, jazz, folk, everything else, and just made a bloody great album. So look, I did have 7.5 skin flutes because I took skin flutes. I took 2.5 points off because of the flutes, but thinking about now, I'm upping it. I'm giving it 9 skin flutes out of 10. Over to you, Andrew.
All right. Yep. Not often we review an album where the flute is the lead instrument. It's really progressive. It's a bright piece of work overall. Very interesting. The closest I've come to anything like this on the show is I'm Butterfly in a Garda Vita. I have reviewed that on the show before many moons ago. Yep.
Okay.
Genuine vintage old school production and tones. They don't make records like this anymore. For all the flack this band copped after the Grammy win over Metallica, this is one talented outfit and their chops are certainly on display.
Fuck it, this shit's all over anything Metallica's done.
Oh.
No, just... Oh, here you go.
You might get some hate for that one.
No, I'm not just joking.
It's on the same level.
Anyway,
credit where due for writing a massive piece of music and splitting it over a vinyl record.
Yeah.
For a satire-inspired piece, this is damn well executed. Hard to fault that aspect. The production's bang on as well. Everything sits exactly where it's supposed to, and the use of panning and space in the mix is really well done. Old tones, mixed well, great fluctuations of volume to accent little parts of the songs. There's another really refined aspect on this. Again, extremely well executed. This whole thing is about execution. They've done that.
Yeah.
Flow as well. The composition and the melodies are really well thought out, and it's surprisingly catchy. It shouldn't be, but there are moments in this that are the hooks that require. You get the deeper, folkier stuff. But you get moments in there where it's like a hook and it's meant to drag you and get your attention back to it again. This is, I don't know. It may or may not be for metalheads. Not for if you want riffs and fucking banging drums. Then no, stay the fuck away from this. But if you like progressive in any way, shape, or form, or straight out of the 70s, check this one out.
There's still heavy roots there, though. There's not many guys
you can
that
feel
like,
it in the groove.
Yeah.
Like, it's got some great groove.
Yeah.
I thought side B of this was more interesting in how they're going about it. There were a few more pauses and there to break things up.
Track 2 was better.
Track 1, side B. Fuck. This is a bit like Cat Stevens doing prog music.
That's great.
For me. And I'm a Cat Stevens fan, so there you go. This is interesting. I wouldn't normally put this forward for a review, but
I'm glad you did.
This came about because of the THRS Lounge, and the voting. It was a lounge choice, so I should mention that.
Yeah.
If you like anything progressive at all, get onto it. But I think for me, it's worth actually delving a little deeper into their catalogue on the back of this. I want to go and check out some more, because this is my first listen of the band.
Yeah.
If you don't like progressive or 70s or flutes, stay the fuck away from this one. But otherwise, it's pretty good. I would like to go with, I get the humour in that, but I want to go with the lyric sheet in depth to get the full story out of it.
Actually, I did look at that. And
well, you had the vinyl.
Yeah, I did. That's
why.
But the lyrics, I'll get back to your review, but it's about this 8-year-old boy who puts forward a poem for some competition. Then he gets disqualified because he used a certain 4-letter word, but they never reveal what that 4-letter word was. But I'm pretty sure we voted one of them in tonight. So. anyway, it's a funky little story.
Yeah, no, I do want to go over because I want to get the full depth and spread, but it does have that Monty Python-esque kind of feel to it, which is and I'm a huge Monty Python fan, so there you go. In the end, I liked it. Something different for us, one of those rabbit holes I'm very curious to go down. 8 out of 10.
Ooh,
Can't really pick a standard because it's one track.
Check
it out for yourselves.
Yeah.
What?
2
1. Let us know what you think.
Hi, welcome to this week's Gig Guide. I'm Jodie.
I'm Nikki.
First off, I want to say a special thanks to Alt Cult, Rockstar Finance and Hydra Rehearsal Studios for their support.
Awesome. Make sure you look up the events that interest you online for more information.
Kicking it off, Saturday, June the 29th, Heavy AF Festival at the Bendigo Hotel, featuring Earthcaller, Nabarus in Deception, who are also launching their new EP, Annihilus, Earthbound, Notice of Eviction, Vatic, Hedron, and Jupiter the Giant.
Giddy up. From now until June 22nd, the Choir Boys are touring the Hits Live, plus a 6-pack of Creedence Clearwater Revival, playing New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland and South Australia.
Saturday, July the 6th, Grant Burns will be doing a special live in-store performance at Alt Cult to celebrate the release of his upcoming Chaos in Design album.
Get there or get square. Also, Brutal by the Bay, featuring Maniacs, Bagot Bath, Thor and Eroticis at the Young Street Supper Club.
From now until October the 5th, the Sisters Dolls are on their Black Mirror tour, playing in Victoria, ACT, South Australia, Western Australia, Tasmania and Queensland.
June 6th to the 8th, we've got Graham Bonnet with Alcatraz, and he'll be performing Rainbows Down to Earth, as well as classics from Alcatraz and the Michael Schenker Group in Adelaide, Melbourne and Sydney.
Friday, June the 7th, Forge Metal Night at Bendigo Hotel, featuring Frankenbach, Trigger, Incarus, Lives.
Guess where I'm going to be. Also, Coda are launching their debut EP at Whole Lotta Love with 74 Kings, Swiss Coat and Candellini.
Saturday, June the 8th, Haken will be at Max Watts in Melbourne with support from I Built the Sky.
Saturday, June 15th, King Parrot, Frankenbach, Black Rhino and Mason at the Pelly Bar in Frankston. Come on down, boys.
Also, Riot Fest at the Corner Hotel. 3 tribute bands paying homage to Faith No More, Guns N' Roses and Metallica, celebrating the 1992 tour.
1992, what a do to you. June 19th to 30th, the Tea Party are on their Black River tour, playing Hastings, Melbourne, Lilydale, Sydney, Canberra, Newcastle, Gold Coast, Brisbane and Adelaide. Friday, June the 21st, Cicada Stones, Sirius Crown and Cam Bird at the Last Martyr at the Bendigo Hotel. That is going to be a rocker. June 21st to July 26th, Lauder on tour, playing Canberra, Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Melbourne, Adelaide, and anyone I may have forgotten.
And Sydney.
Yeah, them. Thanks, Jodes.
As always, lineups and events are subject to change, so keep up to date with those that interest you via their Facebook page, and hit us up via Facebook if there is something that you would like for us to plug for you.
Again, a really special thank you to Alt Cult, Rockstar Finance and Hydra Rehearsal Studios for their support. It's awesome. Rock up.
With your frock on.
The Tea Party, The Edges of Twilight, 12 tracks, 67 minutes. The third New Zealand Canadian rock band released March 1995 by EMI and Chrysalis, produced by Jeff Martin at Ed Stasium, recorded at A&M Studios in Los Angeles. 4 singles were released in Fire on the Head, The Bazaar, Shadows of the Mountainside and Sister Awake. This album was particularly successful in Canada, peaking number 11 and reaching double platinum there. This album saw the band further experimenting with more world music flavours, and we're doing this to celebrate the recent tour of the band. Nick.
Okay, so this is acknowledged as their high watermark, their breakthrough album, so to speak, and the masterpiece. And whilst I like it, I don't love it, and I'm a big Tea Party fan.
Okay.
Basically, it doesn't have quite the same essential classic Tea Party sound that I really liked with the album before this, which was Splendor Spoils. I think it was 2 years earlier.
Splendor Solace.
Splendor Solace, that's the one. What did I... Oh, I actually wrote Solace as well. And I'm not the one drinking tonight, folks. So Edges of Twilight chose a band taking a more modern twist on their sound and starting to bring new influences in there. They used to be more Zeppelin-y kind of rock, I would have thought. Yeah. But this time they've gone for more the modern rock approach in it, but they've still kept the world music approach in there, which is what I really like about the Tea Party more than anything.
Yeah.
I guess the big thing for me is the guitars sound a bit too grungy on this for me, to be honest.
95,
a little bit, yeah. Maybe it was time of the period, but...
Yeah. 95.
It's just for me, they just changed the sound a little bit too much from what I really enjoyed in the past. And what I think this album really suffers from, it's bookended by two great albums, Splendor Solace and Triptych on the other side of it. Triptych was a bit of a one that divided community a little bit, but I love that album as well. Jeff Martin's vocals have turned, they've gone a little further from the Jim Morrison sound like they had before, which is cool. I mean, he's finding his own voice and everything like this, but I reckon they did too many changes all at once for me on here. Look, there are some exotic rockers here, like The Bazaar is a great track.
Yeah.
I love The Bazaar.
Yeah.
Silence, another great track. So when this album is good, it is very, very bloody good. But I'm finding that there aren't as many tracks I actually keep going back to on this one, as opposed to like Splendid Solace. It's just my personal leaning, because I got into Tea Party before this came out. Like I said, like it, don't love it. The whole album, the sense that I got from the whole album, it's really arranged around Sister Awake being more the epic track and everything like that, and that's a great track and everything like this. It's more a little prog tinged as well. That's a 2-part track, and I love the Moroccan feel that track's got to it as well. So when they really nail the world music elements of this, like they're on fire, but there's not enough of it in this from what I see. The thing the interesting thing on this album is they delved into the blues. There are 2 tracks on here that I wrote down, Drawing Down the Moon and Turn the Lamp Down Low. Yep. They're bluesy songs. Now, when I think Tea Party, I don't think blues.
Oh, but you have the Zeppelin-esque stuff in there, so they've always had some element of that.
Yeah, but it was always more rocking, I would have thought. Whereas this was probably a bit too far down the blues part, probably a bit slowing it down a bit too much for me. I don't know. It was just a bit too left of centre for me for the Tea Party. I don't think it's their best output. I mean, but they did set the bar pretty high with their earlier output, and I mean they even got better after this, as far as I was concerned. I love this band, and I think Jeff Martin's a bloody genius. Yeah, I really do. I think he's one of the greatest songwriters going around, and look, I'll put him up there, not in terms of stylistically or the type of music that they do, but in terms of their approach to music. I'll put him up there like a Devin Townsend in terms of just his approach to music. So the guy's a genius, and I love him. And look, I go and see Tea Party whenever they tour. I see Jeff Martin when he plays solo. I mean, I think he's living out in Perth or something now as well. Yeah. Is he? Yeah. Like I say, and personally, I love the album, but I like the albums that came right before it and right after it a little bit better. But look, honestly, go check it out, because it's not a bad album. I do really enjoy the album, but I think it kind of deviated a bit too far from what I was expecting from them. Okay. And look, when I first saw we were reviewing this, I thought I'm going to give this a high mark straight away because I love Tea Party so much. But having to think of it back and listen to the other ones, I'm giving it 8 cups of Earl Grey tea out of 10.
Love to know you think of Transmission down the line.
Oh, standout tracks: Sister Awake, The Bazaar, and Silence.
Okay,
there you go.
Nikki, follow that up.
What's really interesting is the 2 tracks Nick referenced earlier were the 2 tracks I picked as my standouts.
The bluesy ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give a shout out to Anna A from South Australia. I know how much she loves this band, so you're an amazing woman, and thank you for your support.
She's a champ.
So this one was pretty different. Starts with Fire in the Head, and you can call me crazy, but I got a real Chris Cornell vibe from that first song. That was a real
He's got a
audio
crooning
slave,
quality to his
Chris
voice.
Cornell
Yes.
vibe. Correspondence. Oh my God, that song was epic. That just took me there. It was a journey. I loved it, loved it, loved it. That is amazing. And what really tripped me out about this album, there was a few songs that had a little Indian kind of mandolin, fucking, I don't know what Indians play, but they were playing it and it was great.
Not mandolins.
My apologies. I thought it was great for what it was worth. So it was a bit different. Turn Down the Lamp and Drawing Down the Moon. I got a real Led Zeppelin vibe, and I love that. So they're the 2 standout songs for me off this album. Yeah. I thought it was good. Correspondences for me was the standout song on this album.
That's a good one. Yeah,
I gave it 8 out of 10. I agree with Nick. I've got other Tea Party albums that I think are better than this. Having said this, I won't dismiss it. It's just not my favourite. So 8 out of 10. And I just said my 2 highlights.
Okay. I'm not going to lie, I'm another one on this panel that loves this fucking band. Jeff Martin is a star and one of the finest voices going around for mine. If you get a chance to see him solo acoustic, fucking take it. He's amazing in that environment. That said, the Tea Party more than just one person, and boy does this 3-piece pack a punch. It's a long way from the heaviest thing we ever do on the show, but it's the talent on display is simply stunning. Considering that the band get up and change instruments with each other and things all the time. They're so multi-talented, it's not funny, and they make you never want to pick up an instrument of any kind ever again.
Or go home and rehearse. Like.
Either way. This at its core is blues-based rock to hard rock, but the different flavours they add is what's so well executed about it. They have added the world music stuff like they did on the previous album, but you get so much more of that on this record, and it makes it riveting and never tiring to listen to for mine. You still get blues, plenty of guitar work, but the spread and diversity on this album is what holds my attention the most, and the vocal performance along with that. There aren't many that can put the emotive weight into performance that Jeff Martin does. Yeah. It's just something about the way he does it. It's just riveting. Production is rich, deep and warm. Everything is captured very, very well and mixed to perfection for mine. Great use of space in both the sonics and the compositions on this. This band and the album have an atmosphere all of their own that sucks you in. They have a knack. They're one of those bands that if you don't like it, it's not going to change your mind. But if they get even half a hook under your skin, they're going to suck you straight in. They're just one of those bands. It's technical yet accessible. If you want chops, you've got it. But if you want soul, you've got that too. Hooks and melody as well. It's a really well-rounded album, and the track order is fantastic too. Got rock, ballads, taste from anything from the Highlands all the way through the Middle East and beyond. You do go all over the globe, people, for the flat earthers out there. And the lyrics are another standout of mine too. Always something to say and always well executed. You don't get many of the poets anymore. No. And I think Jeff Martin is one of those that are still going today.
Yeah, right.
No, it's very smart lyricist.
Yeah, he's incredibly intelligent.
Absolutely, pay that.
Deep and thoughtful listen. One that gives some attention to as it deserves your focus. That said, a casual listen in the background will also go down well. This is the sort of album that's probably going to make you stop whatever you're doing and make you go, oh, hang on, what was that? And hear something in there. So many little things ear candy-wise taken on this. Repeat listens are no problem. They've got some hits on this, but the deeper cuts are well worth a listen to for mine. I love the touch having Roy Harper do a little spoken piece on this. They do have the whole art side intrinsic they are. These songs translate damn well acoustically as well. This is an album for the writers out there, in my opinion. I go 9.5 out of 10. I fucking love it. The Bizarre, Sister Awake, Fire on the Head, Walk With Me, and Coming Home, my standouts. Check it out for yourselves. Okay. Let us know what you think. Mark Morton with Anesthetic, which is probably what we're going to need by the end of the night. 10 tracks, 42 minutes. The debut album from Lamb of God guitarist, released March 2019 via Spine Farm and WWP, not E. Produced by Josh Wilbur, 3 promo tracks been released in The Truth Is Dead, Cross Off, and Save Defiance. This is the accumulation of years of collected writings and has a massive host of guests on this, including but not limited to in any way Chester Bennington, Chuck Billy, Miles Kennedy, Josh Todd, Randy Blythe, and many, many more. Go on.
I'm going. And I'm reading verbatim, so this could get ugly. So, shiver me timbers and call me a pirate. This one came out of completely
Lagerstein.
What you wrote?
That's what I wrote. I actually regret I didn't review Lagerstein. I would have liked to. Anyway, this one came out of left field for me. I hadn't researched this one at all. I had no idea what to expect, but it came on after something else I reviewed. I was in straight away and I was like, please tell me I'm on the review panel for this album. It's fucking nuts. I love it. All right, so as it turns out, I was. So, Chester Benningfield, like, hello. Bennington, that dude, drunk, whatevs. Can't talk. Him.
Can't talk, drinking.
Chester.
Drink up, rock on. No, seriously, in all sincerity, I was in straight away. It was amazing. I love him. It was so good. I absolutely love this. My greatest fear was after loving the first songs too much, I wasn't going to love the rest of the album. Fear not. I did. It was fucking amazing. Cross Off was outstanding, as is Sworn Apart. I love those 2 songs. Yes. All right, The Never, Miles Kennedy also makes an appearance. Actually, there is a million people that make an appearance on this album. So many good songs. Back from the Dead. I actually have to say they're all great. Josh Todd, fuck my soul. Yeah. Get on down. This was a complete surprise to me and I absolutely loved it because I went into this, no research, no time, no nothing. I just chucked it on and played it and it blew my fucking tiny little mind. And then when I saw some of the guest artists that appeared on this, anyway, don't take my word for it. Go out and listen to it for yourself. Oh yeah, that's a 10.
Right. Follow that up.
This is Okay. There's some kick-ass tracks and there's some dead-set fucking snoozers on this.
Oh,
here
my
we go.
soul!
Largely predicated by who's singing.
Okay.
The writing's clever, but obviously he was writing with the singers in mind, so depending on your taste of, what those singers have done in the past, it's going to dictate what you think of each song. As a result, a lot of these songs are going to come down to your personal taste.
I will pay that. Yeah.
And that's what I found. These albums are very, very difficult to do and make them sound like a cohesive album.
Oh, I thought it did a great job of that.
It's really, really hard. Slash tried it, and I think his is pretty weak. The one with all the guest singers on it. Dave Grohl tried it with Probot, and I thought that was pretty bloody weak.
Wow.
And I think this is the same. They've got highlights and they've got serious lowlights. This suffers from the same thing that those two albums suffered from.
I don't think we can be friends anymore.
Maybe. It's performed well and it sounds phenomenal. Like, it's all the tones and everything are where they are. It's just sort of the songwriting, it just doesn't really work as a thing for me. It's got high spots and low spots, and the low spots are pretty low. Again, this is largely affected by taste, not talent.
Yeah.
There's not a bad performance on this.
No.
So don't, if you will love it if you love it. You love Chester Bennington. I don't. Therefore, that track does nothing for me. You think it's amazing. But that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not a Linkin Park fan either, so, it stands to reason.
Okay, Limp Biscuit.
Yeah, exactly. Again, taste, not talent.
Set in stone.
Yeah, but when it comes to the biscuit, there's neither.
Tons
But
to that.
I do love Josh Todd with heavy music. That track really fucking jumps
How
out.
good was that?
That's an absolute belter.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of any dudes that perform on this album, there's something here for you. You will like it. I'm not saying it's bad. It's good. It's just, as an album, I struggled as a listen.
Yeah.
I gave it 6.5 out of 10. The highlights were The Never, Save Defiance, and Back from the Dead, which I think you'll find are like the Chuck Billy, Josh
Miles
Todd,
Kennedy
and Miles Kennedy one.
Yeah.
Which, if I was to pick the 3 songs I thought I might like going into it,
They'd be the ones.
they'd be the ones.
Yeah.
So,
They were all killer, I will say.
which makes me sound out to be like a douchebag, but I tried to go in with an open mind, but still they're the ones I lent to. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like you said, when you get ones like this, it is predicated by taste.
Yeah.
It's always going to be predicated by taste. We don't do many like this because there aren't many done like this. They're an ambitious project to put together to begin with.
This is what I loved about this. I did no
interesting.
research whatsoever into it, and I just started listening to it, and I'm like, and then I did actually bother to research, and I saw who guested on it, and I'm like, no wonder why.
Well, when it comes to these sorts of ones where it is the guest vocalist and all sorts of stuff, I liked the Slash album, and so I sort of compare it to that in a lot of respects. The worst track on that one was the one with Stockdale.
Right.
Yeah, see,
I didn't like that one. But then again, taste. I'm not a big Wolfmother fan, so
well,
probably the same
stands to
reason. There you go. This one kicks off with a hell of a bang. I'm on the record many times as not being the world's biggest Chester Bennington fan. I'm not a big fan of his vocal. I've even called him a weak vocalist before.
Yeah,
But if I'd have heard more like what was done on that track with his career, my opinion might be a bit different, because for me that track, that was cool. And that's how he signs off from the musical world.
But he was pretty
and the real-
minor on that track in the scheme of things. I don't think he was the overall...
No, but his vocal performance, that was like, fuck, okay.
Oh, absolutely.
That got my attention, because I normally am so critical of him. I was like, okay, no, he stepped up, he nailed that one.
Yeah.
After that, the energy sort of keeps going. The album does flow very well. I thought the album flowed really well, for me. It takes you through a wide range of emotions. It's similar in layout to what Slash did, and nothing wrong with that. I think it's a good formula. So while you're struggling with them, I tend to enjoy them. I don't know what that is. You hear Lamb of God, and you think it's going to be all heavy stuff. And
That's the biggest thing for me, Andrew. Like, knowing Lamb of God, I love this because I took this as an absolute deviation from that.
Yeah, it's meant to be.
I love that.
This is the sort of stuff that he was writing along. He's written this over a number of years, and it's just songs that he knew were never going to be for Lamb of God. But he has to write them, otherwise they're going to stay echoing around his head for fucking forever. So he writes them, gets them out, and puts them aside. And then obviously they come back and do the whole process to do it with. But no, there's some of this that will never fit into Lamb of God's catalogue in any way, shape, or form.
Amen.
Nor should they. Jesus.
100%.
There's some slow, almost country ballads on here, almost pop songs as well. Pretty much everything in between that stuff and his main project, which involves the heavy guitar music. It's guitar driven across the board, which you expect from the guitarist writer. But there's plenty of tasty work in that regard. But also the rest of the musicians play their parts really well. This isn't. It's not a guitar wank fest. Like I hate the ones where it's just all. I can play a million notes and there's none of that. This is all well written songs serving the songs.
Great guitar sound too.
Yeah, the tones are fantastic. Production was a bit of a dark and heavy approach to things. It serves the music, but I felt the drums were driven out a bit too much on this one for mine. It's pretty well balanced overall. It was just a little thing here and there that I noticed. They go for the sound wall effect. They've got some good depth and space in there. It's heavy stuff overall with cool lyrics to suit it, and everything ties into that darker, oppressive kind of feeling overall. Listen to it. The odd thing for me with this album was that it sounded better on headphones than on speakers.
Ooh.
I didn't try that.
Yeah, no, for me it sounded better on headphones and speakers. I don't know what happened there. That's a quirky one. But I think the flip side is that when you listen to the headphones, you hear the compression a bit more, which usually irks me, but I got past in this case because the overall mix was more balanced on the headphones and the speakers. I don't know. It's weird. I don't get many that do that to me at all. But none of that takes away from the listen either way. I still found it enjoyable. This album overall flows well. It's a pretty good side project. One could easily imagine this being the beginning of another sort of a journey. Like if he picks one vocalist out of this and writes songs for that, like Slash and Doing Miles, you could forgive that because there's a lot of great talent on display on this record.
Absolutely.
I don't think that'll happen in this case, but you could imagine it happening, which is the cool thing about it. If you're looking for an album with a bit of everything, but it's also seriously ballsy, and has songs that could easily at the same time be added to rock radio, then this is an album for you. Well worth your time. And there's a track near that Mark sings in his own right, and he's not a bad vocalist either. So, well done.
I liked his track. I thought it was great.
I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Cross Off, Back from the Dead, Safe Defiance, and Reveal. There's no getting past the Josh Todd track. That's the fucking best one on this record for mine.
Agree.
Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think. Bad Moon Born, War Is Won. 6 tracks, 20 minutes. A second EP from the Australian hard rock band released March 2019 independently. Produced by the late Kato Kandwala. Recorded at El Dorado and Sphere Studios in Los Angeles. 3 promo tracks have been released in Alive, Witch Trials, and War Is Won. This is one that's been hotly anticipated by us here at THRS for quite a while. Go for it.
Yep. Alright, so, oh my god, I fucking love this band. Why do I love this band? 1, because they talk to you. They're fucking great. They're conversationalists. 2, because they take photos with you. Yeah, I've got photos with all of you fuckers.
So basically you're a fangirl, you're fine.
Yeah.
I am a fangirl. And 3, they're so fucking funny. And if you saw their private Snapchat moments, which the world won't see, oh my fucking god, and Voya, yeah, I'm talking straight to you. But 4, the most important reason why I love this band, they fucking rock. Okay. I've seen them so many times live. They blow my tiny little mind. They're amazing. So let me talk about this album.
EP
even. what he said. All right. They rock, and this EP is no exception to what you would expect. These boys are amazing, and Alive, I'm putting it here now, dropping the mic. Alive is my contender for Song of the Year. And it's going to take something pretty fucking special to knock that off. Okay. I'm not saying it can't be knocked off, but right now, Alive, that's it. That's where it's at for me. I love that song. It's incredible. Driving guitar, thunderous rock. It's just amazing. They are seriously the ultimate rock band, and I'm so glad to see some of the supports these guys have been getting this year.
Yeah.
They supported Kill Pop Evil.
Pop Evil, yep.
Pop Evil.
He knows what I mean. He was there. And they've got the, Buck Cherry Hardcore Superstar support? Well deserved.
They did Skid Row as well, didn't they?
Yay.
Pardon? They did Skid Row as well.
I don't know, so I'm going to gloss over that. I'm going to gloss over that because I'm not sure.
Hello.
They're an amazing band. I truly think these boys are incredibly talented. Frank, I love your voice. Your voice is husky. It's raw. It's just fucking there. Voya, I love your axe. My good God. Fucking just yes. There's nothing more I can say but how much I love you guys. War Is Won, Alive, Witch Trials, I could actually name them all. What I love about this album or EP is every song takes me to a different place. That's what I love about this album. It's like EP, whatevs. Each song to me has a different hook and a different journey. And
that's true.
That's impressive to me. It's like I love you guys, whatevs, but the fact that you can actually take me somewhere different each time is just ultimately impressive. So yeah, it's a 10 out of 10, and if you haven't seen this band live, go and unfuck that.
Yeah,
I've had
see
the
them live.
pleasure
They're very good live.
so many times this year. They're just incredible, and 10. That's where I'm at.
There you go.
Follow that up.
Oh, you can have this back now.
Here, do you want a prop?
There you go. Here's one you may have seen earlier, like about 2 seconds ago.
Thank you, Voya.
Okay. Talk about coming out of the blocks. I mean, the vocals kick into this straight away within the first couple of seconds
Coming
of
out
the
of
thing
the blocks.
starting. Don't know what the dog's doing, but there
Yeah,
you
I
go.
know, dogs run out of dogs too.
Yeah, but the vocals kick in straight away, and that's a genius masterstroke here because Frank Kvlts is easily one of the best vocalists that this country's produced in the last however many years.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, look, the fact that he hasn't sold out and gone down that corporate path and after his thing on The Voice and he's just kept his band going, man, major props to Frank because this band is fantastic as well. And yeah, look, this band will be the next big thing out of Australia. I honestly believe that. I've been saying it for a little while now. No, if they're given
Not
the right
in Australia
chance.
though.
Probably not in Australia. They're probably
Sadly, I
unfortunately,
agree.
they're probably gonna have to do that thing where they
Go
go overseas and
Go
make
to
it
Canada,
make it big over
aka
there.
Lazies.
I see a massive market for these guys in Europe, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, look, they will be the biggest thing coming out of Australia because they're very adaptable, very versatile, and it's a band that's on top of their game, not only on record but live, like you've said.
live.
They
Yeah.
are fantastic live.
So
band.
fucking good.
You can't really fault the musicianship on this at all.
No,
I'm
they're
not
very good.
I'm not a massive fan of EPs per se, but this one grabbed me. This
Okay.
one, once I got a hook in, that was it. They describe themselves as girth rock. So if you look at the website, it says girth rock, and that's kind of pretty appropriate because 1 minute they sound like Guns N' Roses, then it's Alter Bridge. Next thing you know, they've got a bloody Tool riff coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Then there's 9 Inch Nails and industrial stuff happening. These guys are all over the park, but it bloody works.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. I love that, and I love a bit of variety in my music. So, kudos, guys, man. You guys really knocked it out of the park there. That's best highlighted on the track that I wrote down, Road Warrior.
Yes, fucking so much yes to that song.
For me,
yes.
Quite possibly, that's the best Audio Slave song that Audio Slave never wrote. To give you a bit of an insight.
I do get that, yeah.
Yeah. When I review, I normally listen to something first, like kind of in the background while I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
Then I'll give it another listen while I sit down and start putting words to my review. The first time I was listening to this and that song came on, I'm thinking, shit, what Audio Slave or what Soundgarden song was this on? 'Cause I'm a big fan of both those bands. I cannot remember hearing it. Well, what the hell am I listening to? Because I just had it on shuffle. I went back there and I saw it was Bad Moon Born. I go, oh shit, now it's got my attention.
Yeah.
But they're so versatile. Look, Chris Cornell had one of the greatest voices of our generation and stuff, and Frank Kvlts is right up there with him, especially in terms of his phrasing and everything like that.
He's incredible. He's
I
incredible.
think it's probably
Fantastic.
more powerful, to be honest.
I think so.
Like, I actually, I love Chris Cornell, and I don't want to disrespect the man, but having seen Frank live on a number of occasions, my God, he belts it from the fucking solar
Diaphragm.
plexus, whatever.
Yeah.
Thank you. He's incredible.
All I need is the bubbles for Dumbo. Like, that's...
Well, I'll try to get this
I don't
back on
want to
track.
take away from it because he's actually amazing.
Musically, if you aren't averse to some experimentation in your music, like something a little left of centre like I do, this is definitely one for you. Check out tracks like Witches Trials, which is almost got a 9 Inch Nails undertone. I don't know if Andrew picked up on that because you're the 9 Inch
I didn't
Nails.
get that. No, but it does have a very dark feel to it, which is why it might lean into that. It just wasn't industrialised enough for me to go down that path.
But it was still different from a lot of the other stuff that was on there as well.
Oh, no, it was different for the rest of the EP, yeah.
Dogs, that's another one that's well worth your time as well. Speaking of,
Speaking
of,
here she comes.
Yeah, no.
No, she's not going to get shot.
Look, normally I'll listen to an album once or twice before getting the urge to move on from it because you invest your time in listening to it and everything like that, really digesting it. This one I kept going back to.
Okay.
You know?
Good.
It's only a 6-track EP, 20 minutes, whatever it is, but I played this ad nauseum for quite a while getting into it because I really, really enjoyed it. Look, there's nothing I can say that I don't like about this album. The only thing I can say is I wish it was a full album.
Yes.
You know,
Testify.
like guys, seriously, 2 EPs into it now. No, let's get an album happening. You know,
But at the same time, there's more bang for your buck out of EPs.
exactly. Well, that's the other thing as well.
Business-wise.
I feel you like, but I'm wanting more.
I
I'm wanting
agree
more.
with
Yeah.
wanting more, but that's just how it works now.
Look, it's a shift in the market. That's how it is. We see a lot of bands doing it, but personally for me, I'd love to see what these guys do over the course of 10, 12 tracks, whatever it is.
Be interesting.
Look, Nicky's talked about it quite a bit. Frank's voice, I love his voice and everything like that. And look, because of the voice thing and all that kind of stuff, I see a lot of attention going on to Frank and him being obviously the front man, the centerpiece, all that kind of stuff. But seriously, the rest of the band are no slouches here.
Absolutely.
The rest of the band
100%.
are on top of the game. They are on fire and they are a fantastic band, the way they play off of each other. Look, there aren't any massive solos or instrumental interludes to really talk about this in this thing like that, but some of the riffs on this and some of the effects especially used on the guitars, genius. Seriously, I just love them. So really, yeah, Frank's great. Frank's phenomenal, but the band is not far behind.
No, they're all work together.
No, they're
Yeah.
up there with Frank. They're not even behind. They're up
They're
there.
up there. Andrews is more the production kind of guy amongst us, but for my ears, I think this is pretty damn near perfect produced. There's a lot going on, but you can hear, or I could hear, almost everything that was going on.
Very high production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we're listening to it on Spotify and MP3s and stuff like that.
Yeah, but don't dismiss that out of hand because the actual quality that you get on those things isn't too bad these days now.
I'd love to see what this sounds like on CD. And I'm a vinyl head, so I'm definitely...
It'd sound great on vinyl.
Yeah, I definitely want to pick it up on vinyl. I mean, I checked out their website, so I plug for the guys. Get onto their website because it's coming out in quite a few formats.
Yeah.
Get out there, support them because these guys are fantastic. Look, very enjoyable listening. I'll keep going back to. Like I said, after a few EPs, I'd like to see a full album, but may happen, may not. Whatever it is, whatever these guys do, I'm going to be there to support it because these guys are fantastic. Don't kid yourselves, these guys are one of the finest rock bands in Australia right now, and I want you to yourself to check them out. So, keeping on with the Frank theme, I'm giving it 9 Frank Sinatras out of 10 Frank Zappas. There you go.
For mine, it's very sleek, very modern rock. The sort of stuff you'd imagine being perfect on US rock radio. Kicks off with a bang and doesn't let you go for 20 minutes, just like this review. Riff, melody, and energy drive this thing. The groove this band have along with the collective talent on display is hard to deny. If you like bands from mine, such as Shinedown, Audioslave, Soundgarden, those sorts of stuff, then you're going to really enjoy this one.
Absolutely.
That said, this is a long way from any sort of rip-off. It's just they have their own style. It works. It's just those are your sort of gateway points to this band.
Yep.
Great hooks in here, the lyrics as well. These songs will stay with you. They're very well performed on top of all that. Great use of space in the writing as well. Some really nice use of depth in the production to allow some sonic push and pull here, which is suited to this kind of music. Some of it's really sort of stripped back and the songs just flow, but some of it's really bombastic. It hits you and then it steps back, and then it hits you and then it steps back. So it's very modern in a lot of respects. Great track with a good slice of diversity for an EP. This flows well. It's easy to repeat, listen to. So the order has been well thought out, and you get the impression the whole release has been thought out. So the songs, the production, the writing, the whole lot has been very well thought out. It's honest. It's nice.
Yeah.
Very, very high production, very glossy. They've kept the rumble in there. There's plenty of balls in this to balance against the melody and the vocal. My only gripe is that it does go a bit too much for the sound wall, and as such, the compression dynamics suffer a little bit for mine. It's not bad, but I particularly noticed it on the cymbal hits and how thinned out they were compared to a lot of other sounds in here. Yeah. There's parts in there where the cymbals just sound almost non-existent. That
Fair enough.
when you want things to kick through, it's just like, just dial it back a little bit to allow the headroom for everything to come through. It doesn't take much. Don't need to go all at it. But overall, it's still very good, well-rounded release sonically. My gripes are always picky, so don't let it put you off. This is perfect for radio, and if it is going to get anywhere, they need to leave the country to pursue this music. Go to Canada, go to the US.
So sad, but true.
That's the
That breaks my heart, but
this is too good not to be heard.
I
So
agree.
they need to go to the country.
100% agree.
It's pretty much a release that anyone can listen to and enjoy. The best part of this is they're just as good live.
Yeah.
Not many bands in this country doing this modern style of heavy rock, but these guys are doing it damn well, and there's no reason with these songs and this talent they can't go wherever they want to go for themselves. So watching the show, we've played the clips before.
Yeah.
This is an EP that's more than worth investing your time into. It's a damn solid release with some really well thought out lyrics. It's got a bit of depth to this one, so it's not just a hit and go. There's a bit of thinking in there. Modern rock done damn well, pretty much probably better than most, to be honest, in my opinion. 8.5 out of 10. Great. I picked Dogs as my main track.
Yeah,
that was
nice.
fantastic.
That was a great
track.
track.
That riff, fuck yeah. After that, I picked Alive and Witch Trials.
Boo.
Check it out for yourselves and let us know what you think. Well, that's it for this week at the Hard Rock Show. Thank you all for tuning in. Details at the bottom of the screen, as always, so make sure you're following us on all of our social media channels, and remember to subscribe to YouTube for all the extra content that doesn't make it into the weekly episodes. We have also...
THRS Radio, Andrew.
Yes, we do.
More professional than
Sorry,
TV.
and I'm the sober one on the panel, the biggest and best radio station this side of the Galaxium. Everyone else is making up words tonight, so why the fuck not? Let's go. Galaxium.
That's my new side project.
Yeah, well, okay, there we go. That'll be interesting. We also have Patreon and sponsor packs out there as well. If you'd like to help us out with a bit of financial support, we'd be greatly appreciative of that fact. But now it's time for our favourite part of the week, the bin.
Love you, Jimmy Vanzino.
We're back. It's been a while. It's time for a bin.
This one's important. If you wear a backpack,
All right.
you have to be spatially fucking aware. You dipshit. Particularly if you're on public transport, like a tram. When you turn around, you've got like a foot and a half sticking out of your back. Be aware. I saw some dickhead nearly knock an old woman over with a bloody back. Look, seriously. When you're on public transport, take it off, put it at your feet. You're a dipshit, backpack wearers, be spatially aware or get in the bin.
There you go, in the bin.
Yep.
Told you it was important.
Very important. All right. I haven't got anything for the bin, but I want to make a comment about something.
Okay.
So, earlier, as we were recording this earlier this week, Dave Meadowlife and myself went and saw Avantasia live.
Yes.
After the gig, something happened to me after the gig that's never happened to me ever before in a gig. I met up with a whole heap. We were sitting there and I saw this guy rip out an esky, of all things. He starts dispersing jelly and, cakes and Pop-Tarts, all these kind of things.
Why wasn't I there?
There is...
I know, right?
I want to say a big hello and big thank you to the Melbourne Metal Crew. So there's a group of people going around. They've called themselves the Melbourne Metal Crew. It's just they formed this little community where they're going to gigs and making it an event. So definitely go and check them out. So I think we don't even know their names. So one of them's Liam, but they call themselves M1 and M2.
Oh, Liam, Tobin, hello.
There you go. So guys, I said I was going to give you guys a mention, so there it is.
Oh,
Keep up the great work. Melbourne Metal Crew bloody rock.
So what goes in the bin? Like not bringing cakes to
Lack
gigs?
of cupcakes.
Lack of cakes.
I said I didn't have a bin. I said I didn't have a bin. Yes. I said I didn't have a bin.
I'm with it. Lack of pastry at little gigs.
Yeah, okay.
In the bin.
Yes.
First things first, our buddy Den sent in a bin.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I've got Den's bin here for the moment.
Den.
And that is political parties that base their campaigns on shitting on each other rather than campaigns.
That was my bin! Fuck you, Dan! That was exactly my bin!
See, this is why you pay attention.
Nick is going to put Den
They're
in the bin.
shitting on each other rather than
Promoting
Oh,
politics.
that's so annoying!
Yeah.
That was literally my bin.
I've been that many a time
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
Here is another bin.
Tony Abbott.
Yes, that too. But the Palmer United representative who decided to whip out the wrong democracy sausage at a polling booth.
Don't whip out the wrong sausage,
Yeah.
dude. Bad
Oh,
news.
wow.
He was arrested today for exposing himself.
Oh. There you go.
What?
Was it in the hot dog bun?
I have no idea.
We can only hope.
It's like bachelor
Did
party.
they eat it the wrong way or the right way?
There was onions on the bottom.
Was it cheese on top?
Only Clive Palmer
Moving
could
on.
have such a volunteer.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Nick.
Look, I'm a little bit devastated because my bin tonight was really something close to my heart in general and in life.
Your rib
And it
cage?
sounds like Den has maybe stolen it from me, but I love you, Den. Don't shit on someone else. Tell me why you're better.
Some people
The
pay good money for
whole
that.
frustration I've experienced with this election this year is I actually am one of those nerds that research. And if I went on what you projected, I would go on Labor's a liar, Liberals a liar, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about hating on each other. Tell me your policy. Tell me what's important to you. That's what I, as a voter, actually want to know. And the whole mud between slinging shit, it's been really difficult this year to actually sort what your policy is and what you represent. So, Den, if you already said that, bless, because I can't stand shitting on your opponent. Tell me why you're better. That's all I want to know.
Okay.
Why isn't Nikki on Q&A? Like, I want to see this.
Yeah.
I've never
Nikki on Q&A.
I've never seen Nicky and Anthony Green in the same room.
Conspiracy.
Well, believe it or not, I'm not going to go political this week.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Tonight of all nights.
Tonight of all nights, I know I'm feeling okay. I've got more coming up. Don't worry, that's okay.
Vote
Let's go.
Quimby.
Vote Quimby. Now, for mine, because it's topical as we do it this weekend, you fucking hacks that want to sign a petition to rewrite Game of Thrones season. Every single fucking one of you can get in here, okay? A TV show of any kind, this one included, does not owe you to meet your fucking expectations.
Fuck you, 500,000.
I don't know.
I don't care how many you are,
It's
you're
up to about a million now.
losing.
Have you ever watched season 26 of The Simpsons?
No.
He's not tweeting about it either.
Andrew, testify.
No, there's too much. Like, if you read a book, if you listen to an album, yes, I know we critique music, and that's a bit of a fucking oxymoron here, but we know we're idiots at the same time that we're doing it. If you watch a TV show, if you consume produced content, art, or whatever you want to call it, you don't get the right to go, I want it back, I want a do-over. Good luck going to a fucking author and getting to rewrite a fucking... You're not going to get a TV show to rewrite their fucking show, and you're not going to get a fucking band to rewrite the album because you don't fucking like it either. No. Get in the fucking bin. Yeah.
Testify,
There you go.
Andrew.
But Lars, seriously, fix that snare sound.
You entitled fuck.
But this is a generation that's been brought up on fucking participation medals. You can all fuck off.
I'm offended. I'm offended.
I'm offended, you're
And
offended.
we're going to offend ourselves right out of this room right now. So thank you all for tuning in. Until next week, I'm Andrew.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Tim.
I'm Nick.
I'm offended.
As always,
Drink up.
Rock on.
what?
I lost it over the Indian mandolins.
I probably didn't do that justice. Whatever it was Indian sounding to me.
Nana Muscuri's 20 sitar classics.
Don't even. Sitar! That was the fucking instrument I couldn't name. Sitar!
No, it's great. It's like that great lyricist, Spiro Gandhi. Bloody fantastic.
Spiro Gandhi.
Okay, alright. This one's going to be a little bit interesting. But that's
George
all right.
Harrison was Greek.
Yeah, he was Harrison.
Vasilios Wirasinger.
Right now.
Concert for Bangladesh was at the Parthenon.
This is Sparta.
I love Eurovision because I mix mixomatosis. I don't know the fucking Indian from a Greek. I just love it
Mixomatosis is
all.
what they used to kill rabbits.
Yes, it is. I had a rabbit that died of mixomatosis.
Hosted by Sunil Papageorgiou.